retired about a year ago from Phoenix Union High School District. I taught at Central High School for 12 years and was a guidance counselor at South Mountain, Cesar Chavez, and Betty Fairfax High School about 14 years. During my 10 years, you might imagine I dealt with gun violence very frequently, and I have many, many stories I could share. Today I wanted to share a story of one of my former students that I hold near and dear to my heart. His name was Fredo Rubalcaba, Freddie. I first met Freddie back in 1994. Same year he got involved with all of this. He was a great kid. I ended up having him twice, because he didn't pass my class the first time, but that was okay, because Freddie was a sweetheart. He had a great smile, it was infectious. He was a stutterer. The more nervous he got, the more he stuttered, which was actually quite an endearing trait. Unlike a lot of his friends, back in the day, Central's graduation rate wasn't so great, and unlike a lot of his friends, he kept graduation in mind. By his senior year, he did really well. Right before spring break, we had an assembly, and he and I walked over to the gym together and sat with each other in the bleachers. And we talked about how quickly the school year was going by, and that graduation was right around the corner, about prom. And he had decided that he was going to follow in his brother's footsteps, his older brother, and go into law enforcement. He said one of the reasons he had stayed in school was because it was important to him to be a role model to his younger siblings. And I told him how proud I was of him, at all of the choices he'd made. Little did I know how much I would come to be grateful that we had that conversation. When we came back from spring break, one of the security guards stopped me in the hall and said, "Did you hear about Freddie?" And I remember backing up so I could lean against a wall because my knees started to buckle. Freddie he loved cars, and he'd gone to a car show. And at the car show, we ran into a couple friends who asked him for a ride home. They stopped at Circle K at 19th Avenue in Southern. Freddie stayed in the car while they went in to get something to drink. And while they were inside, a fight broke out in the parking lot and someone pulled a gun. A bullet shattered the window of Freddie's car and went through his head. About 12 hours later, around the time he should have been sitting in my class, he died at a local hospital. Knowing how important it was for Freddie to finish high school, on the day of graduation that year, I went to his house and I took his mom's diploma. We sat and shared stories about Freddie and laughed a little, cried, and talked about how horribly tragic and senseless his death was. Thank you for letting me share the story.
I feel so very supported today. I thank you all for filling the shoes that are empty, painfully empty today. I'm a mother, and my son pulled into a store on 20th Street and Broadway with his 2-year-old and 5-month-old in the car. Someone randomly shot and took his life, and no one has ever been arrested for that great loss. And so I'm here to just simply say, ironically, Monday he was murdered May 28th. So ironically, Memorial Day was an anniversary. And so when I see the orange, I'm strengthened by it. I know that orange is a very vibrant color, but I know what orange speaks to also. And so when I look at one of Landon's shoes, my son's name was Landon, and when I look at his empty shoes, but Landon, I always collected shoes, and I just want you to know that we must be collective about this thing. We must be very intentional about this thing, because I'm a mom. And you know, I always thought, do we go from baby blankets to body bags? Do we have to really do it this way? We don't. And as a mom, my heart breaks. I'm sick of seeing crime scene tape. At this point, my baby carriage gets to be a crime scene. And so I know that as community, I work with public health. I'm a community action coordinator for South Phoenix, Levine, and Maryvale. And little did I know that I was dying. The weight that you see on me has been bottomless depression. And I had to tell myself, Rosalind, get up or you will lay down and die with Landon. But somehow it's a community like this that holds my hand and that infuses me with the left foot, to be able to put the right foot in front of the left foot and keep on making steps forward. And that's the way it happens. Silence is power. But when we look, or when I look at empty shoes, I say I must be the feet, I must be the eyes, I must be the ears, I must be the voice for a voice that's very silent right now. And so I have, from my pain, launched Project Landon. And it is really to speak to a community about the devastation that happens. We don't just lose a person, but we lose doctors and lawyers and scientists, and we don't know what they could have became. My son spoke 4 languages, and the first thing they asked me was he involved in gang violence, because he's a black male, an educated one to say. And so I just want to say, community, continue to lock elbows, continue to put your left foot in front of your right, because you don't know that behind the scenes, moms like myself are dying, but that I see you living to lift me up. Keep doing the work.